Yo, 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 what up, doe? Welcome to another episode of the usual Him Spec. Today is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. And for some reason, I'm starting to glitch and not say 2026. So, maybe that's a sign for me. But this is going to be another video. I guess you could say in regards to the trade deadline closing at in about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and the game that the Pistons have versus the Wizards, as they've made some moves. They're not gonna, maybe dress up those guys, first day out type of deal. We'll see how it goes for them, right? We do also have some new players, and that's going to be interesting, right? As a lot of teams have a lot of new players, just to kind of briefly mention that. And, what that means for the rest of the season for certain squads. Like, do some squads get a juice? Do other squads, they have a glimmer of hope in getting some things accomplished this season, and do other teams, have a glimmer of hope for the future of next year, right? And maybe beyond that, but I would say just next year. But the players that the Pistons have acquired is Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric. And it's going to be interesting integrating those guys. My idea is to get them to the point of, being some wing kings, right? And, doing some wing things, right? Like, I'm trying to flip it to some sort of nickname. Still working on it. But, having them to where, they're attacking offensively from the corner and the wing, and contributing that way. Just kind of emphasizing space until they could catch the rhythm that the rest of the team is, the rhythm that the rest of the team are in, is in, and then fit in defensively to what we like to accomplish. And maybe not just kind of throwing them out there, having the guys that are part of the rotation already be a part of the rotation. And as we start to see them get comfortable working alongside what we go to, the rest of us and what we go to accomplish, implementing them and using the bodies, right? If we're full throttle, if it's, mountain climbing mode, and we have a back-to-back today and tomorrow, we're going to need more than likely all hands on deck. So we want them to contribute. And I feel like the easiest way is, part of the court at a time in a specific way, and not make it to where, teams could kind of D them up from whatever game plan that may have been the blueprint of how to defend them previous to being on the Pistons, but to amp up their toolkit and have them contribute the way we want them to contribute. So I made a post on YouTube about that specifically, and that should be sufficient for these first few games, especially going on a road trip. That road trip should serve well for the new players that we have, as well as the rest of the squad being in mountain climbing mode. And the aforementioned before this post, kind of the mindset to go in is what, about 33 games left. So that's like a 16 set, 17 game, 16 game set. And maybe I miscounted the playoffs, but it'd be 4 rounds of four wins per 4 rounds, right? With a 1 game play in the first time around. So the first 17 games, I feel like I'm not counting right. Maybe it's only 12, right? Like, 8-4-2 is 3 rounds, right? 1. Yeah, so that's 4 rounds and a play in, right? So 4-4-4-4 is how I'm thinking about it, and maybe that's going to be overcounting the amount of wins you need in the playoffs. But being able to handle full throttle in that short amount of time, it's going to be tricky, right? Teams are going to make adjustments. It may take an entire game to understand what was happening and make an adjustment in another game. The goal is to break that mode, make it to where we could take advantage of our youth, and pretty much our hunger as well, and kind of punch a hole to the end of the playoffs, right? Punch a hole through all the way to the end. And so, we got two different sections that we could do that in. The 17 set right now, in the mindset of this first game of the back-to-back is a play-in into the playoffs type of deal. And just to have it to where, that our mentality is being carried from game to game. And that our schedule is going to lighten up as the playoffs hit versus what it is we've had to deal with schedule-wise going into the playoffs. Is the mindset. Also, to be able to stay focused, keep our heads down, and just put in the work, because in climbing the mountain, you can't get too caught up in looking up and see how much further you got to go. You could take a glance every now and then. Of course, the whole thing is, as you're scaling the mountain, to find the, scalable parts and put in work on those parts, and avoid the just slick slopes, because of how mindful you're being. So also in regards to, how you all have everybody involved in the organization, you all are together. This grind for me, and how it is you all choose to accept the grind and be on the grind. It's kind of where it is that I'm aligning myself to have in my space as well. Me having to, because options want to be entertained, to go chase someone down to try to, strap them into the race car seat type of deal to be on this ride is not a part of the format for me. And we're in the real world. Being corralled into a decision that you need to be saved from is, of a youthful type of mind, right? It's a youthful type of mind. But so that's what I'm looking forward to aligning myself with. Maybe that next step is to give in a bit more to media. But right now it's more so turning in this paralegal voucher and getting this certification, writing this book, and first getting consistent with content creating, right? Before I could consider anything else. There are some experts out there. I'm not able to rope them in. So when that changes, my association will change, and I'll be able to dive deeper, and I should have more credentials. But all in all, welcome Herder, welcome Sark, and good luck on your grind here. Have a mentality of contributing, and don't look for anything to be easy. This is the D, and we start on D. I'll holla.